Hi guys, it's Miss Harley, and I can't wait to tell you about this book called Woke. It's a young poet's call to justice, written by Mahogany L. Brown, and it features poets Elizabeth Acevedo and Olivia Gatwood, with illustrations by Theodore Taylor III and a foreword by this phenomenal author named Jason Reynolds. I really encourage you to find a book written by Jason Reynolds. He's wonderful. I've been looking forward to reading this poetry book with you because we've been talking all year about speaking up for yourself, speaking up in the form of activism and standing for what you believe in. And it's such an important part of our school year and life. And I wanted to make sure that we talked about this, especially during Poetry Month. This first poem is by Jason Reynolds. I grew up in a house and a family where my mother allowed me to talk back. Talk back, she said. Talk back. You really gonna let that boy talk back? Just know not to disrespect me. I'm still your mother, but know that no ain't just no, and if you want to talk back, talk back. But I ain't gonna hear you unless you say it like you mean it. And to mean it, don't mean it gotta be said mean. I'm still your mother, remember that. You still a human, remember that. So stand up straight, lock your shoulders, open your chest, and say your human things so I can hear you cross the room, cross the world, over all this noise. Woke, a young poet's call to justice, is, in book form, exactly what my mother meant. It's a collection of proclamations, megaphoning to the young world that they are human and therefore have the right, I'd even go so far as to say the obligation, to talk back, to speak up, to connect with the fortifying elements outside of them, as well as those that exist within. Mahogany L. Brown, Elizabeth Acevedo, and Olivia Gatwood are together beacons shining light on prejudice, resistance, self-acceptance, friendship, intersectionality, and inclusion. They are also serving as beacon builders, each of the poems acting as blocks, strengthening and heightening every young lighthouse that reads them. Nothing is heavy-handed here because Brown, Acevedo, and Gatwood clearly understand that soft-handedness works better. Hugs, handshakes, the ladling of shared soup, hand claps, finger snaps, a wave goodbye, peace signs, fists in the air in solidarity, palms reaching up for what's clearly an attainable sky. Justice looks like many things. To my mother, to me, it was often the freedom to talk back, the freedom to own my voice. What Woke knows is that to the future poets, and by poets I mean you, it will look like those things and also much, much more. Jason Reynolds. Activism Everywhere by Mahogany L. Brown. Our voice is our greatest power. When we stand together, we can speak up against mistreatment. We are saying that we will not be silent about the mistreatment of people. We are saying we will not be silent. We are standing tall and firm because we believe in equity and equality. We are standing tall and firm. We are not yielding or bending because the conversation is uncomfortable. We are not yielding or bending. We understand activism happens online and offline, in the streets picketing and in the classroom teaching, on the blogs writing, on the internet sharing information. It happens everywhere. It is active. It is energy. It is resisting to be comfortable when we all have yet to feel safe and free. The Ability to Be by Mahogany L. Brown. The ways in which our bodies may move against the wind or the water, climb stairs or swing high in a child's park, both arms in flight, all on their own is different. Sometimes we have sight, sometimes we have the sense of smell, sometimes we are working with a different set of skills altogether. There's more than one way to exist. There's more than one way we learn how to speak with our hands or our eyes. There are different tones to evoke a symphony of laughter. Our fingers and toes, our arms and torsos, each courageous cloud, a thunderous declaration echoing, I am here. Because the smallest things that make us up are the largest strokes of beauty that color us brilliant. But the heart, oh my, how our hearts beat the same. In the Next by Mahogany L. Brown. Things should be different. We must keep our eyes on the prize. The prize is a good life. The good life smells like true freedom. True freedom is a song we should all be able to sing. It will happen in the hills of Appalachia. It will happen in the streets of Brooklyn. It will happen in the veins of Detroit. Discrimination will no longer be tolerated. Hate will have nowhere to hide. Powerful and meek, strong and brilliant, all of us combined as one. This is when the sky will break open its blue, blue wings, and we will celebrate its lush song. The Good Body by Elizabeth Acevedo. You know your joints that bend and straighten? Your mouth and ears and eyes, your limbs that lengthen as you reach for the earth or clouds? You know your hair that maybe coils upward, stretching, or falls straight down your back? Your body can be a jungle gym of movement. Your body can be a chapel of quietude. Your body can roll and grow like a long sentence. Your body can be like small, mighty punctuation. Your body can be encased in metal, adorned with wheels. It can need medicine and extra support. Sometimes your body can make you angry or sad because it doesn't look how you want it to, or it doesn't do what you'd like it to, because it might have limits that you want to move beyond. But remember, even on the days you aren't feeling yourself, your body is always a good body because it carries the good in you. Instructions on Listening to the Trees by Mahogany L. Brown. When you're part of a community, you have to think about others. Think about the sun and how it smiles sweet authority. Think about the ecosystem and how the leaves dress the tree trunks, surviving from the kindness of the sun. Yes, the sun and trees have a community all their own. And aren't we part of their community too? Benefiting from the oxygen and water, it creates new life. The water is alive in its gift giving. Think of how it feeds the roots. Like any true community, we must nourish and care for one another if we are to grow. So I listen to the trees when the wind dances near, and I listen to the neighbor's dogs singing to the moon. The moon is high because of the water. How amazing! And this is when I remember home. The way my friends ring the doorbell to come outside and play. The way a car slows down when a ball rolls in its way. The way we make jokes about the TV show and share our fears. The way we look up sadly when the street lights come on. We all are part of someone else's journey. That's the way communities are built, each root sprawling toward the edge of an infinite smile. I've Been There Before by Olivia Gatwood. When a person is in pain, sometimes the best cure is to hear, I've felt that too, from someone else. When you cry and your best friend puts their hand on your shoulder and says, I've been there before, suddenly you know you are not the only one. Sometimes we don't know the people we feel for. Sometimes we've never been where they are. But we don't need to look like each other or speak like each other or live like each other to know what it feels like to be sad, to be hurt, to be in need of a friend. Instead, we can simply say the words, I understand. We can make a secret club out of our sadness. We can let everyone in who wants to join. We can sit in a circle and laugh and share, sing over and over. You are not alone. Gift of Grace. Forgive me, the most lonely request I know. It requires the gift of grace. Like a horse looping around Central Park, slow and metered. The wind can tell when the body is holding more weight than it can hold. This is how an apology begins. The bags holstered to the back, across the shoulders and the neck. The heaviness of disappointment, the sadness is so lonely, alone and alone. Sometimes the wind picks up speed. Sometimes the sky is still howling. Sometimes you have to wait for the quiet of the rain, let the storm pass and try again. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Forgive me. A humble request. Such a beautiful song. Say the Names by Elizabeth Acevedo. Say the names of leaders who came before and made the world better. Say their names so that uttering letters might lend you courage. Say the name, Malcolm X, Cesar Chavez, Lilio Kalani. Say the name, Ida B. Wells, Sonia Sotomayor, Mama Tingo. Say the name, Malala Yousafzai, Frida Kahlo, Colin Kaepernick. Say the name, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Tarana Burke. Say the name, Harvey Milk, Janet Mock, Audre Lorde. Say the names of these leaders who fought with words that landed like right hooks. These leaders who took a stand so they could assert the dignity of fair pay, so girls would be treated equally, so their homes would be respected, so they could protect the right to protest, so they could promote racial justice and the right to love who you love, be who you are. And no, it doesn't matter your age or where you come from. If you see someone hurt or down, if you feel like your community is being cheated or wronged, instead of stepping over someone fallen or thinking this is just the way it has to be, use whatever power you have to help lift them up. To lift them out, to lift yourself up, to lift yourself out. Because freedom isn't freedom unless it's freedom for us all. So say the names of your heroes and then say your name too. Be inspired by the freedom fighters who have come before and the justice seeker inside of you. And those are just a few of the poems in this fantastic book written by Mahogany L. Brown with help from Elizabeth Acevedo and Olivia Gatwood. I hope it inspired you. I enjoyed reading them. I hope you were inspired to write your own poetry and participate in this year's virtual poetry speak out. Reach out to me if you have any questions, if you need resources or feedback along the way. I'm happy to give that to you. Please speak out and speak up for whatever feeling, whatever thoughts you have, whether it's injustices or something related to very positive experiences. I want you to remember that poetry communicates every emotion, whether it's outrage, it's frustration, happiness, excitement, optimism. It's everything that you can think of. So there is no wrong emotion, no wrong thought that is expressed through poetry. All right, please reach out. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Miss you all.